All right, that was your full weather forecast to help you guys plan your day in the upcoming week. And now we have our Google tech expert back online to help us figure out how to keep our devices secure in this world of Wi-Fi. I'm going to head back to the couch with Joe.
And I'm so excited to have Ben Brown. Again, we are joined by him from Google. He is a technology expert, and I got a lot of questions for him. So can you hear us, Ben?
Yeah, I can.
We've got
you hear guys? Yep. Can you hear me?
Much better. Thank you so very much for joining us. It is an important month. June is really all about tech and protecting your family on Wi-Fi, especially when the kids start coming home and they're going to spend more time on the computer. We know they will. How do we do a better job of making sure that our Wi-Fi is secure?
Yeah, so obviously we're using Wi-Fi in so many more ways than we used to, right? So all the cool new connected devices and services. We're watching video via the internet so much more than we used to. We have cool new connected cameras and speakers that we're bringing into our homes, and that's awesome. But at the same time, too, actually Wi-Fi technology itself hasn't really kind of ramped up as fast as we would have wanted it to. So at Google, we actually built our own system. We went out and said, we really want to make sure that we provide a great Wi-Fi system so that everyone can get great Wi-Fi to have all these great connected experiences in the home. And as you said before, it's not just about getting great connectivity everywhere, but it's also about making sure it's secure. And so one of the biggest things that we cared about there was how do we bring the best of Google security smarts that we use at our data centers to make sure that we can bring that to your home. Because at the end of the day, actually your Wi-Fi system is the most important point of security for your connected home. And so what we did there is we thought about kind of the cool new investments we could make. We made it so that we essentially are tracking all the kind of newest security threats that are out there, and that we are able to push automatic updates to the network within 24 hours. And we're also able to we also have automatic updates every 6 months, so that again we're always in front of the latest newest threat and making sure that we're keeping you safe and secure.
Talk to us about that tech of what Google offers and where we can find it and how we can get to the point of protecting our home, because as we saw in the last few weeks with hackers, it's going to affect all of us, including of course businesses, but in our home too. There's a reason to try to hack into our home because of course we're typing in passwords and different things. Once somebody gets a keylogger into your system, things could go awry pretty quickly. You guys are functioning on everything to protect us from that.
Yeah, so at the end of the day, what hackers really look for out there are actually breaking into routers. That's like the most important thing they can do, because they can get access to everything. And the reason actually the security today is so poor is because most routers have remote logins that are essentially something that's really generic, that every router by certain manufacturers have the exact same logins. And so it's really easy for someone to remotely log in and be able to kind of essentially control your router remotely. And so what we wanted to do was, one, first of all, we have a security system in Google Wi-Fi which we're always assuring that it's running a Google approved signed piece of software on the device, so no one can actually log into your device and upload malware or some sort of software that can take over. But it also makes sure that at the end of the day, we're all not security experts, we're all not IT managers, and so we wanted to make sure we could do that for you, so you wouldn't have to worry about it. Because at the end of the day, you should not be worried about this stuff. This is not, all these cool new experiences we want in our home, we shouldn't be worried about, how that's going to compromise our security or privacy. It's absolutely something that, should be able to. The technology is good enough. We use it at our data centers. We use it to secure all Google platforms. Why don't we just bring it to everyone and just make it so that we can do it remotely for you, so you don't even have to worry about it. And again, that's what, at the end of the day, there's a lot of simple things that we can do. One, I think the biggest thing that, people have talked a lot about before is a lot of us don't even have passwords on our network. So we have open Wi-Fi networks. That's great for convenience, but it also makes it really easy for anyone to get on the network that's, within range. And so one, I would just say is, regardless of whether you get Google Wi-Fi, make sure you have a password on your network. And then also make sure that that password is, is easy enough for you to remember, but also not easy enough for someone else to kind of figure out. And be really smart about how you share it. And so with Google Wi-Fi, one of the biggest things that we cared about was that we wanted to essentially balance that idea of security and convenience. Because at the end of the day, this is like, we're not just trying to create fortresses, right? Like, there's reasons we give our Wi-Fi password when we have guests over, or we want to connect the newest devices simply. So it's important that we're actually able to have convenient access to that password, and we don't just write it on kind of like a little sticky note or a pad of paper that we keep in in the drawer somewhere and then we can never find when we actually need it. And so what we did was we actually have a companion app, obviously in iOS, in Apple. You can download it from the Apple Store or from the Google Play Store. And you download the companion app, and what's great about it is that, one, makes it so it's super easy to control things when you want to control them, but it also makes it really easy to share a password, just with a click of a button via text or other kind of local sharing things like bumping and NFC. But what's also really cool is the ability to create a guest network. So this is another nice thing, is that if you want to be able to make it super easy for people to get connected to the internet, but you don't want them to get access to local things on your network, it's really nice to just be able to create a separate network really simply with a click of a button, and then be able to make that really easy for people to get on, while also keeping that completely secure and separate from your main network.
Well, Ben, we have just a moment, so let me ask you the big question. Where do we get some of this new Google tech? Where do we find a new router that is going to meet those needs?
So it's called Google Wi-Fi. And so obviously you can always just search Google Wi-Fi on google.com, but you can also go to madeby.google.com, and there's kind of a big explanation of what Google Wi-Fi is. And I think the biggest thing at the end of the day, the reason why we built this product is because all this cool new stuff we're bringing to our homes, it's super frustrating when it doesn't work. Yeah. And so and honestly, kind of whether it's that connected Wi-Fi camera or just wanting to stream the newest Netflix episode in my bedroom, the issue is that we need great coverage everywhere. And that's not something we cared about before. We used to kind of do internet in our living room or in our office. Now it's obviously we need internet everywhere through our home, and that's all wireless and that's all Wi-Fi. And so what we did was we actually we redesigned the Wi-Fi system. Homes aren't designed for Wi-Fi, so we wanted to redesign Wi-Fi for homes. And so the way that we did that was actually we thought about, you don't just have one big light bulb that tries to light up your entire home. You obviously put light bulbs in every room. And so what we did with Google Wi-Fi is actually made it so that there are a couple of Wi-Fi points, and you put those in kind of in places throughout your home, and it gives you a blanket of connectivity. And then we just manage it all for you in the background, and it makes it really simple to get connectivity where you need it.
That's awesome. Ben, I want to thank you so very much for sharing with us. This is good stuff.
Very good stuff. Thank you so much.
Hey, thank you so much for having me.
And Google there with some great information.
Yeah, you could guess my password. I have to step up.
You need to do that. And if you don't think about this, Leet is a good way. That's what the techie guys use for theirs, which includes numbers that act as letters, and you kind of get something that's pretty complicated that's easy to remember.
It's all getting very high tech for me.
But lastly, one thing, if you're trying to connect on somebody else's Wi-Fi that's open, like maybe you have a neighbor who leaves theirs open and you're thinking, I'll just use his, not use mine. Remember this. They know you're connected, and they can see what you're doing, and they can actually tap into what you're doing. So maybe,
dun, dun, dun.
Yeah. So maybe that's not a good plan if you're thinking
don't
about
steal other people's
don't
Wi-Fi.
Steal, yeah,
it makes it slow, and I hate that.
Yeah, they might be doing something else.
All right. So from keeping you safe in the home, we're also going to keep you safe when you go outside with our new Be Ready Summit County segment. And live in studio is Chris Crowley, the Summit County Emergency Manager. Joe is going to be sitting down with him. It's all happening right after these commercial breaks.